Live streaming is on.
Okay, we're live. So let's just start this by giving everyone a chance to talk. Uh, Start with intentions for the call, and then really briefly, what is your favorite blockchain for good project and why? That's not the common stack or something that you work on, right? So to model, my intentions for the call are to go over to the designs and talk about cadCAD and all other updates for this project, and give everyone a chance to talk as much as possible. And then my favorite blockchain for good project that I don't work on is trust lines for sure, because they're changing the story of money and allowing people to create money backed by trust, and it's basically just a mutual credit system. But I think it's really really cool, and I will pass it to Jeff. Hey there, Jeff. Oh no, Jeff just froze. Okay, I'll pass it. I'll pass it to Ben.
Cool. So yeah, I'm attending these meetings for the first time. I've been following along closely since last year. We went through our own launch with the molecule catalyst, and I'm glad to finally have some time to work on this project. I think my best or favorite blockchain project for good would probably be Wildcards at the moment. I think they've done a very sort of minimal implementation where their marketing has been very good. They've gone to some great places and great events and really got the attention of a lot of people. And I think they are doing some sort of real good that's just, getting things done.
For sure. And I'll generally pass it to someone. I'll pass it to Max.
Me? Do you mean me?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of share your um, perception because I'm kind of semi-involved in a project that operates through the trust lines, and the tech looks very promising. I think it will be, until the end of this year, it will be almost the mainstream. So I really like the concept of those. So yeah, I don't want to I don't want to name a project.
Yeah. And do you have any intentions for the call?
Well, just to catch up, I have like 25 minutes as I said before. Maybe answer some questions about the wireframes. That's it.
Cool. And then let's pass it to Andrew.
Hello. Well, I'm Andrew. Does the favorite blockchain for good project um, not have to include the common stack?
Yeah. Yeah. It can't be the common. We all know everyone here will.
Well, then I guess it's circles because I went to the meetup. I don't know many other blockchain for good projects. And then there is I'm here to basically see what's going on, see how I can contribute, and fit myself in.
Okay, cool. And then let's pass it to Jeff. What do you think, Jeff? Intentions for the call, blockchain for good projects? No, he's frozen again. Okay, Juliet. Do you have any?
Hi. Yeah. Intentions just to take notes as usual, keep things moving along, and track people down on their hours.
Nice. Okay, well, let's see if Jeff ever comes back, but he might just have to miss the opening now. Okay, so then the next goal is to set agenda topics. Obviously, design progress. Max, hopefully we can go over the wireframes. And I also want to make sure that we get a chance to talk about cadCAD and what it's going to take to get that piece of this project going, to answer questions around that. And then when Fabio gets back, hopefully there'll be time for him to talk about his development progress. Is there any other agenda topics that we want to add? Okay, moving on. Then let's dive straight into design. So Max, you want to walk us through the wireframes and tell us what's going on?
Well, they pretty much self-explanatory. Most of the people who engaged in the process already know that we're trying to create a comic book vibe type of the game. You know, most of the game play it's basically divided in a, you know, receiving a quest, hearing the story, and then doing something. Like the game controller is basically the means to do the input to the model. And the fun part is basically the character, the tags that you're reading, the awesome story that I believe David came up with. So yeah, basically this is it, and it's like basically step-by-step wireframes, like you watching a single screen which change states. It's not like like 1,000 screens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so is it always one screen and you're just scrolling down, or what's the transition?
It's not scrolling down, it's just something happening on the screen. You do something, it happens, you click through. So the comic book should feel like you know, you just click somewhere. Have you ever read an online comic book? It's like you click and you open another like second page. Like in our case, it's just a change of the illustration, change of the narrative. I mean the text, and basically you just read, you getting immersed in this universe, and then you basically do something that this character asks you to do.
Okay. Okay, so every time you need to turn the page, you click.
Yeah.
And it just like the page turns.
Yeah. This is just for convenience. Like you can click in like in any part of the screen, right? Just to be more confident. You know, there are such users who look with their eyes and looking for the, you know, next button or something. So just in case we want to have like a pointer next. But in a comic book mode, when you're just reading through the quotes and stuff, you just can click whatever you want and it will open the next. So I can see the implementation of this as not to completely change the page, but so it consists from tiny blocks, right? Like medium size, smaller ones, and you click like anywhere, and so you can feel the progress of the story. You just removing the, you know, top one and add like to create a feeling of that you're playing like Snake on a Nokia, right? So you remove one from the end, you add one before.
And then I saw that you have like these numbers for some of them. We may be able to have like a good graph that changes as you move the slider. If that's the case, we can obviously put that instead of the number, right?
Mm-hmm. So they are pretty basic. They covered the narrative, they covered the use case from the beginning until the end, but they are pretty basic. It's a wireframes. It's not a like high resolution design which is ready for implementation. Just to give the idea that here is our logic, here is how we want to do the comic book, here how the controllers will look like, here is the graphs and, you know, charts. So here is the loading screen and stuff like that. So here is the high scores. In the end of the day, it's just wireframes, right? It's not a complete design package for the front-end developer to create. In my opinion, from that state, the front-end dev team can only create the logic and adjust the environments, maybe do some methods, whatever.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Does anyone have any questions about the design?
Yeah, I quite like the layout. I think the comic book style is quite approachable. People are used to online magazines. There are also a lot of good sort of React tools for creating similar looking sort of slideshows with transitions between these sort of pages. So I think could be a good layout.
Nice. Fabio, did you get a chance to look at the design? I see you just joined. Oh, still can't hear you, Fabio. Oh no. Okay, well, if that's it on the design, I mean, I think we can keep going on. And although I definitely hope Fabio can get his mic working because he's been kicking ass on development lately, putting a lot of hours the last couple weeks. Okay, well, yeah, I guess Max, do you have any last words?
I just noticed that you have the same wall as I do.
Yeah.
So I really see the next steps in a design field to get ball rolling on the development side is, so on my agenda on this week, we need to complete the brand guidelines, the palette and the typography, mostly the fonts. So to do that, I really want to get in touch with the illustrator who will be doing this basically comic book to not ruin his or her palette and the feeling, the solar panel thing. But I want to emphasize it maybe with some like all I need to create is like as simple as couple of fonts, primary palette, secondary palette, and accent palette. So, and I want to be precise in terms of alignment with the illustrator. So in my agenda to get in touch with the illustrator, figure out her needs in terms of vision of the future comic book, and to basically get done with the brand guidelines.
Cool. Yeah, and I think Sem is going to be your main point of contact there. He couldn't make it today for this hour, but generally he's pretty accessible on Telegram. So I'll make sure to hunt you guys down and make sure you're connected. Because I don't know if Nyan Cat is our illustrator, and I don't think she really speaks English. I think she mostly speaks Spanish. So unless you're pretty good with Spanish, you might need to have like a translator, and I think Sem can do that.
Okay, that will be fun.
Okay, well, cool. Then
thank you guys
Fabio,
for the call. Nice to meet the ones that I never met before. Have fun. Hit me up on the Telegram if you need something.
Thanks, Max.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Fabio, how's your mic? No. Womp womp. No dice.
Could hear something, but it's very, very soft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Fabio, I can hear you, but it's incredibly soft.
You must have better headphones than I do. I can't hear anything. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I almost heard that. Well, while Fabio's playing with the mic, let's dive into some cadCAD. So just as an overview, because I don't think Ben and Andrew, I don't know how deep you guys have been in this. I assume not enough to really understand what the scope of the cadCAD work is. There's generally two sides of the cadCAD. There's actual infrastructure DevOps side, where it's like we got to make it so that our users can actually interact with a server that's running the cadCAD simulation. And that's definitely a whole task in itself, because the way cadCAD is set up right now, it really can't handle multiple users at the same time. So we have to come up with some kind of queue type solution where, you know, if someone's already using it, then like we just hold up their request until the person who's using it is done. And it shouldn't take too long to do these cadCAD sims. So honestly, 99% of the time that won't happen. But there will be times where, oh, there's a live stream and we're talking about the Commons simulator, or oh, you know, and people will be driven to the website all at once, and so we definitely need to prepare for it. And then there's the actual cadCAD side, which is we have 3 cadCAD simulations that maybe need to be put all together in one, or at least be put together in some way where the user can input their variables, have them simulated, and then get the results out of cadCAD. So those are the 2 main sides. Ben has worked with cadCAD and designed bonding curves with cadCAD before. And Andrew is very excited to learn how to work with cadCAD. And looks like you've done a little bit of cadCAD sims as well. Maybe I'll open it up for questions so we can figure out the way we want to approach it.
For me, I used to do a lot of backends in Python, so I think I could help out the most with the web server talking to and using cadCAD part. Of course, I can also do the cadCAD part. That would be kind of simpler for me, actually. Yeah.
Oh no, Ben lost audio as well. Okay, so you can help with.
Me now?
Oh yeah, hey, I can almost hear you, Fabio. It's still very light.
Well, yeah, it's just bad because if I use Chromium, then mic doesn't work. I changed to Firefox, and it seems to be better. So it's not my mic; it's the browser somehow.
Weird. Yeah, I don't know. We can. It's still really faint though for hearing you.
I see. Well, in any case, the question here is how many people are going to work with the actual React, as Max was saying, you know, the logic. The wireframes are not, as he said, implementation ready with all the details, but the logic could be implemented in the sense of building up the pages and the sequence and the layout and all that. And I don't know if there are any React experts here on the call who would want to do that.
Well, I guess I can. I think that would be generally Ben or Andrew. If are you guys interested in at all working in on the React part as well?
I don't have experience with React.
So yeah, I've experience with React as well as DevOps, cadCAD, all the rest, but probably more keen to work on the back end, but also happy to jump in and help on the React.
Okay, cool.
Oh, very
I've
cool.
worked with Angular professionally, and I'm starting with React, so I could certainly take that on. Might not be the fastest doing this, but I can take that on because I was more doing the graph stuff, the D3 stuff, but I can think of doing this if nobody else is, so that we can have progress there.
I think your D3 experience will be very valuable. I think it translates obviously very easily from Angular into React. And if there's anything in the React side that you need help with to contextualize, I can kind of help or guide there as well.
Cool, because I think it was you who was saying about these tools for transitions and all this. I don't know many of those tools, so that would be a good start for me to get a kickstart and doing it not too simplistic maybe, and actually use tools which would be helping towards getting this comic style, or I don't remember how you said it, this storyboard style thing into the front end.
For sure. Yeah, I can see where I can help
Cool.
there.
Thanks.
Yeah, and we can also ask for help from outside too, and see if you have any specific questions. Putting it in the DDev channel is pretty. There are definitely a lot of React devs in there. By this time, they may have muted the channel, but there's still a good chance that the lurkers will see it and be like, oh yeah, I know this week, I know this tool set and stuff like that. Okay, but let's get back to cadCAD. The other thing, Fabio, is for sure Sam has a lot of experience with React, and so he was in Paris, and now I think he's recovering from that still. But later this week, I believe we'll get some hours from Sam, so he can assist as well. But on the cadCAD, so now that we have sound. What do you guys think the best way to actually start approaching this cadCAD thing? Honestly, Ben, you and Andrew both kind of came in at the same time when we didn't have anyone to really manage cadCAD, and so we don't have much of a plan or like a scope and all this stuff written out. I don't know if that's kind of the place to start, or if you guys have maybe if we want to do like maybe a deep dive call just about cadCAD sometime. We can organize our thoughts but I'd be open to hear how you guys want to organize this task.
Sorry, I didn't quite get it. Like, would you suggest how cadCAD should be organized?
More about how we, as the Common Simulator project, like scope out these tasks, what needs to be done, and make a plan for how we want to do it.
I would just try a
Yeah,
simple thing.
I would say the issue you mentioned about having sort of concurrent users and creating some sort of queue, I'm quite interested in seeing how I can help tackle that. And also, I guess, getting that into a usable state first would mean you could start experimenting with that sort of interface between the cadCAD and the front end. The actual cadCAD model, I assume there's work to do there to kind of make it a bit more modular and break it down a bit, or what is the actual work on the cadCAD model itself?
Well, there's probably a lot of stuff that we can trim out of it that aren't so relevant, but basically we need to make it so that we can take some kind of input from users. I don't know if it comes out as a JSON file or something like that, and then we pump it into the cadCAD model, and then actually have the cadCAD model run. Defining, basically creating the web interface for the cadCAD model and cleaning the cadCAD model up. I mean, there's probably a bunch of stuff that just doesn't need to be part of it. We're only kicking out 2 graphs and a data set for those graphs. That's really all we need. So.
Cool. Sorry, your audio broke off again, so I just had to refresh the page, but I think I caught the last tail end of that.
Yeah, just the general idea is that we need to trim up the cadCAD CAD model so it's quicker to run, and then so optimizing it in a way for our use case, and figure out how to take user input data and plug it in.
Crap, that sounds fun. I'd like to do that too.
Good, that's great. Yeah, I mean, we have right now these these 3 very detailed cadCAD models, and honestly, it's just above my pay grade. Like, I don't know if they all need to be put into one file and edited from there, or if they can stay in separate files and we trim them up. But yeah, honestly, I have no idea how to approach this stuff.
Yeah, Andrew, we should definitely jump on a call sometime and go into it a bit deeper, you and I and whoever else would be involved there.
Yeah, I imagine we should just schedule this a cadCAD call. Are you guys available this week?
Yes, I'm available.
Okay, cool. So because I can arrange the call and I can gather the resources so that we can all tackle it maybe on Thursday.
It's quite a busy week for me. I've got some personal things as well as work stuff going on. So, but possibly the end of the week on Friday. Otherwise next week, I think.
Friday would work well for me. Andrew?
Friday works for me too.
Okay, cool. So I'll put out a cadCAD. I'll try to gather all the resources for what we need on cadCAD, and if we can get and make a doodle for the meeting on Friday, and if we can't find a time that really works, that's okay. We can do it next week. But I think I didn't come here with this like focused plan on cadCAD yet, so I think we'll do better off if we have some time just for this task. Okay. Well, the other thing that I wanted to make sure we had time for is for Fabio to talk about all the work he's been doing this week. Do you want to talk about the development work you have, Fabio?
Well, I'm happy to talk about it. But, I basically be just doing the D3 graphs, and actually only the hatch graph, the 2 lines based on the function, and the cliff as you yourself described it. And that's it. And it's working, and it's on a branch. And Sam was supposed to review it, and at some point he said he was going to do it, and I have still no feedback, so I don't know if he merged it, if he looked at it, or what the status there is. But it's actually working, and it's on a branch in the repo.
Nice. Is it something? Sorry, I got booted. Is this something that
I don't hear anything anymore. I'm not sure what's going on.
it can you hear me, Fabio?
I don't hear you. I just see video.
No, you can't hear
And
Fabio?
I hear people constantly coming in and on and off.
Yeah, I think Jitsi kicked us off. But Fabio, you can't hear us?
I'm sorry. But that was really my update, so not much to say from my side else.
Is it possible to see this, or was it deployed on Netlify or something like that, or is it something we can only see if we deploy it locally? Okay, well,
something that might, well, I don't know if everyone can hear, but something that might be worth looking into is something called observable. It allows you to do sort of shareable D3 charts that anyone can sort of interact with and edit. If you want to have a sort of quickly iterate and things like that. It's called Observable HQ.
Observable HQ. Okay, noted. Fabio, can you hear us at all?
Yeah, I think it's just Jitsi audio is unstable. It just switched audio off for me. I had to reload and hear you guys again.
You were mentioning that those D3 graphs are workable, and is it something you have to deploy locally, or is there a website that we can go check them out at right now?
Oh, okay. I could certainly deploy them somewhere. They are though dependent on the sliders, which are not D3. So it's probably best to deploy the current state of the common simulator somewhere.
Okay. Well, I believe we could check that. I don't think he merged your last PR with
No,
the
I don't
D3.
think so.
So that's okay. I'll push them to get those things uploaded, and then yeah, I think that's all of our agenda topics. Does anyone else have anything? Well, cool. I don't want to take anyone's time if that's all we got. I'm excited to have just a quick checkout round and then let you guys go. So I'm really glad that Ben and Andrew are joining the squad on the cadCAD piece, especially. It sounds like they're both excited about the whole thing, so that's fun. And Fabio, thanks again for putting all the work on the graphs the last 2 weeks. Juliet is going to chase everyone down and get the hours that you worked so that on the last 2 weeks, so that we can pay everybody from our Gitcoin grants. Yeah, and so closing round. Thanks, guys, and I will talk to you guys next week and in the chat. I'll pass it to Andrew. Any closing thoughts?
No, my parents are calling now because I have a fever, and yeah, this is kind of embarrassing.
Okay, you want to pass it to someone?
I'll pass it to Ben.
Cool. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, great to meet all of you. It's nice to have a sort of another open source project to start contributing to, and look forward to discussing cadCAD in the backend more with Andrew and Co.
And then you pass it to someone.
Aha, okay, I'll pass it to Juliet.
Yeah, nice to meet the new faces. And I see that some of you have already put in your hours for the last sprint, which is awesome. But otherwise, you'll be hearing from me on Telegram most likely. And let's see, Fabio, dare I?
Yes, thanks. So I'm very happy to see the progress in the design, because if we don't have that more or less fixed, then in my experience, the project tend to elong in time because things are not, very clear. And then, oh, I thought it's meant like this, and then out of wanting to show progress or something, then you do whatever to show off, and then it's not what was expected. And so I'm really happy to see that. Yeah, I think that's really it, and looking forward to continue work. I already put my hours in the spreadsheet, so it's there. I think Jeff is missing.
No? Jeff? Man, I swear we had bad timing with Jeff every time. His poor mic never works. Well, that's it. Thank you, guys. See you next week.
You.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.